You've got to move from a foundation to a modern and to an innovative stage. So all the digital tools and technologies that is demanding the data, like if you go into an app of a PNC bank, you see your data and information almost real time there. Like if you deposit $200 on an account, you go to an app, you want to see it right there, right? You don't want to see it tomorrow. So the innovative ways of consuming data on a digital app, the CDO will have to change their approach. So no more it's foundational. I think it's much more here, but this is where it's going to evolve. The risk and controls of data is changing as well. From a foundation base to a much more fast-moving data to much more on-demand cognitive data. So the risk of the consumption is changing as well, right? I mean, making just data accessible and available easily is not enough. You've got to make sure that it's secure, it's controlled, and it's authentic. People skills are changing as well, right? So no more from a foundation stage, it has to change from this is relational databases, right? So if somebody in the room is still doing one-to-many relationships on a data warehouse, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. You've got to do something about it tomorrow, right? I mean, those days are gone. We are talking about domain-based big data architectures. One-to-many join has changed to contextual joins. How many people know what contextual joins are? Exactly. Right? So those skills are changing. Ab initio, Informatica, and all those ETL tools are dead. We're talking about Hadoop Scoop right now. We're talking about Hadoop Navigator. We're talking about PySpark. So skills are changing. Data controls and risks are changing. The data itself is evolving. And the last but not the least, the design and the implementation approach is changing. You can't be doing, let's do a data model first. We'll do an ETL, social target mappings, run the load, test it, and then after 6 months, just do user acceptance testing. Not going to happen. It's much more agile. So from this room standpoint, you have to change your project management skills and project delivery skills from traditional to agile. From a data skill standpoint, you've got to change. Risk and controls is changing, and the skills that are needed to do the data is changing. So think about this for a minute. I mean, if you are sitting here and are in the foundation stage, while the kids that are coming out of college are at this stage, I mean, you read between the lines. 75K versus 200K demand that you have to run your family and pay your mortgage. If I'm a partner at Ernst & Young, I would hire a 75K guy who can do this stuff for me here, and not you guys. It's a harsh reality. I mean, if something that I can get out of this session is for you guys not to sleep tonight, because I've spent sleepless nights for the last 5 years. I go up and learn myself Udemy and Coursera courses. I mean, Brother Kamrul knows I talk about that every session. Go to Coursera.org and sign up for a six training class that takes about 2-3 months. 5% of people actually finish that course. It's that complex. But when you finish the course, and I've seen brothers who I actually spoke to and recommended these courses, they've changed from a .NET programmer to a AWS cloud administrator. And he calls me every month and thanks me for that. That's not the purpose. The purpose is for you to act on it, change your profiles. It's already here. I sort of keep telling my client, this is not next gen, this is now gen. Next is now. We're already living in that world. If you go talk to 5 large global banks, none of them are doing this stuff. I'll open up for questions.
I'll speak louder. So you already covered what is the domain that we are getting into. Like some of the academic professionals are sitting here. Maybe some of the fresh graduates are also sitting. But if someone is trading quick 30 seconds, if you can highlight, like if someone wants to get into this area, what they need to do. You already said about a Coursera course that you can take. Other than that, what people can do to get into this area?
I think number one basic thing is these community events are very important, right? I mean, there are more than the sessions, at least at ICJ, we try to do weekend courses. We should start those courses so brothers can at least get aware about what this is. But professionally, I highly recommend, so Coursera and Udemy are the two websites that I know of. Udemy is pretty cheap, by the way. Udemy is hardcore. Udemy is getting into programming, learning, coding. I would say immediately go home tonight and explore that website. Coursera.org, I personally like it, Coursera, because it teaches you from the scratch, like basics. The first two courses of the 6-packet course, which is about, by the way, Coursera has started a new proprietary pricing structure, which is you pay per month and you do unlimited. Before they used to charge by the course, but now it's $45 a month. $49 a month, and unlimited courses. So there's a course called Big Data Expert or something like that. I think Brother Kamrul, we can send the link to everybody. It's a 6-course program. By 4th course, people lose interest because it gets a little tough. First 2 courses are very simple. It will fly through, like literally basic. People who have not done data modeling before, people who don't know what data really is. It goes to the basics of what data is. It explains the table, the join. I mean, really very rudimentary, basic course. And I'm not trying to dummy it down, don't get me wrong, but this is really very basic. 3rd course, it starts to get into, it jumps directly from basic to a big data concept. 4th gets into big data modeling. 5th gets into big data programming and performance tuning. The last is actually a project. It's called the Capstone project. And not many people pass that project. It's very difficult. There's no help. You can't ask for help. You have to figure it out. And there's no right answer. So they evaluate the end of the Capstone project and they tell you whether you've thought through it correctly or not. So I highly recommend that. I've seen our brothers and sisters go through those courses and actually have changed their careers. I mean, I know them personally well. I highly recommend doing that course. Udemy is much more programming. You go in and actually it will start you from writing programs. But if you've not done data before, Coursera is the place to go. And this doesn't apply to banking and financial services, by the way. Banking and financial services is much more focused on data. But if you're in the retail industry or airline or travel and transport or any other industry, this applies to pretty much everything. Any more questions?
So we will have a Q&A, like Q&A later.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Abid. So we'll have like a Q&A session with the panel, like all the speakers will be here and you can ask questions. And also at the end, we will have group discussions around different topics we are presenting. So you can like ask your questions there also. Next I will call Brother Danish Syed. Brother Danish is Vice President of Strategy and Advisory Solutions at Morgan Stanley. And he's an advocate of digital currencies and blockchain technology. That's what he likes nowadays. He doesn't like what he did before. So he would like to talk about those. His background, he's with his vast experience in wealth management and financial services. He can see the long shot of these emerging technologies and he's helping to promote them in the industry. He speaks frequently in different meetups on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. So, Brother Danish Syed.
Assalamu alaikum. Kamrul, this is my presentation. While they're getting the presentation online, a couple of years ago, we had similar event. I think that was the one of the first IT professionals networking event in this area, and Brother Abed, Kamrul, myself were a team, and I was playing the role of Brother Kamrul, what he's doing here. It was a couple of years ago. And during that session, I heard Brother Abid speaking. Everybody's talking about blockchain, but do they know what exactly is blockchain? And I'm not a technical person, right? But I thought, I don't know, I'll go and home and check it out what blockchain is. So I went home, hooked totally into the blockchain. Then I found the Bitcoin, then I found the Ethereum, and the journey is on and on and on, right? So whatever I'm saying now here, the credit goes to Brother Abid. Right? So what I do at my work, I work for Morgan Stanley. Our team, we manage the advisory platform where the financial advisors, they manage the client's money, they give the advice, they do the financial planning, right? They build the portfolios, right? They look at the risk, right? They do the billing, basically how the financial advisors make money. They use applications, so it's a big platform. But my company is right now not very interested in blockchain or the cryptocurrencies, right? But I'm not demoralized with that. I'm continuing with the long shot that someday, right, we'll have a shot in my company to work on these cryptos and blockchain. So, and I agree with what Brother Abid mentioned earlier, that the data is the asset, right? So I'll speak less about the data, but a little bit more about the assets, right? That's what we do in the wealth management, managing the assets, and specifically the digital assets. So now when we are moving into the crypto era and the digital era, what exactly is the digital asset? What exactly is the crypto? And this session is not going to be a technical session, but a very big picture about the digital assets, right? Again, I'm not a professional in this area, but enthusiast and like this area, doing my own study. So this is about the crypto assets, a big picture. Okay. So the way we have the assets in the physical world, right? I have my house, I have my car, I have many other things, gold, diamond. We have going to have assets, and now we have the assets in the digital world, right? Now, if we want to understand those assets, what type of those assets are, let's look at those. Right, but right now we are very, very initial stages of managing, understanding the digital assets. Right? So I know that at my firm, Morgan Stanley, we don't even have an asset class. Right? Like we have equities, fixed income, all these different type of asset classes. There is no asset class for digital assets or cryptocurrencies because still evolving. It's just moving million miles per hour speed. So let's look at the different classification of the digital assets or the crypto assets that we have today. The cryptocurrencies, the crypto commodities, and the crypto tokens. So I know we all talk about buying bitcoins, and then we talk about buying tokens, ICOs, right? how do we make sense of all those different type of assets that we buy with our hard-earned money, right? What is our understanding of that? Can we differentiate between these the way we differentiate equity and fixed income? What's the classification? I mean, it's changing, but let's see what we have today, right? So what's the cryptocurrency? The sole purpose is to make the payments, right? And if we know what the currency is, that these are the three properties of the currency. It should be medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. So there is a lot to understand about this, what the actual currency is, but these are the very, very high level points, right? And if you want to look at the examples of the cryptocurrencies, these are the ones. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, Ripple, Monero, and there are many, many more. I'm sure most people have heard these names, right? So it's one classification of the currency, right, where I can make payments. Their sole purpose is to facilitate the payment.